Okay, hello and welcome everybody to the first episode of my City Skylines Let's Play series. This is going to be a modded, highly detailed series where I'm going to be building on this island that you can see me doing here. This first episode is just going to be me doing a little bit of terraforming, do some of the highway connections, some basic stuff before we really get into the city building proper. This, as you can see, we're on a island. It's technically an isthmus, which is a strip of land, and it's connecting two other bits of land. And this is what we'll be building on. The idea was to have a kind of like highly, like very modern, built-up, like rich city-state with quite a lot of high-rises, but it was going to be on a very small little island. So that's going to be the idea for this city. Imagining something like a Hong Kong, Singapore, Macau, but with like a little bit of, I'm going to say like somewhat like Monaco, but not really. I mean, Monaco in that it's rich and it's small, and it probably may have like no income tax to get rich people in there, but style-wise, not really. Probably more similar to like a Singapore, a Hong Kong, maybe like a Dubai. But also it will be taking inspiration from all over the world, really. You know, parts of there'll be things you'll see from Hong Kong and Japan, and parts that you'll see from like Europe, USA, what I know from being here in Australia. You know, it will be just a hodgepodge of different stuff, but it will be just like this very modern international style country. That's what we'll be doing here. So pretty much what you've seen so far is just me tapering off the ends of the island so that the entire city is within the bounds of the map. I did some flattening of the terrain. I think whoever made this map on the workshop, it's obviously a very pretty map. I really liked it, but it's a pain to deal with the elevation changes in City Skylines. If you've played it much, you probably know that. So I've flattened it out a little bit. Maybe it makes it a little bit less interesting, but I'll really thank myself for that later. I think even in one of the future episodes, I flattened it out a bit more because it was really becoming a bit of a pain. So hopefully you can forgive me there. And next thing that we're getting into is just doing the highway connections in and out of the city. I won't be doing too much detailing of areas outside of the city. That'll probably be just left as open fields. But I'm just doing the highway, make it into a single highway, which I think looks a little bit better, a bit more realistic. And I'm also just putting in some toll booths for the entrance and exit to the city. In the fiction of this world that I'm creating, I'm imagining that this is maybe a passport check or some kind of customs check to get into the country. This place obviously doesn't exist in the real world, so I can't say if this is part of the European Union or if this is connecting two countries or two continents or anything like that. So I'm just putting this in here to imagine if it requires a passport check, this is where it would happen. One idea I had for this place was maybe it could be somewhere like a Panama or a Suez, where it could be a strip of land that's walled between two larger bodies of water. I'm thinking maybe later on I will be cutting a canal through this country, which could act as a cargo ship canal path, something. Anyway, a place where cargo ships can come through the country, and then obviously that could be, you could charge ships for coming through and the country could get a lot of money that way, because this city will be built a very modern, lots of high rises, a really nice kind of area, so that would require a fair bit of income, which it could get through. I mean, first of all, as I said, it could get through having a lot of rich people in there from having no income tax. Get it through the industrial area, through the cargo and shipping, and I'm also thinking you'll also be taking some inspiration from Dubai, and I'll be having like a very strong tourist focus here, where a lot of people will stop by on the way through if they're using the roads, or as well just come here as a destination, as you would for like a Monaco kind of place. Okay, so because this country is very long and very thin, obviously this is perfect for having a big, strong central spine of a road that runs the whole length, which will be fantastic for public transport, for bike, and obviously for the cars. So I spent a long time here to try and figure out exactly what road was perfect, because I wanted to have a light rail system, which is of course is perfect. It's obviously like the best kind of public transport, but for this, having this big central spine, just having a tram that could run back and forth along here is absolutely perfect. You couldn't ask for a better design to encourage people to take bikes or public transport, having this little central spine here. So I spent a little while trying to pick the exact right road with a nice separated bike path, people who are nice and safe and want to take their bikes, and I'm just running it through the center of the city, and they will sort of build everything off here, but try and keep the traffic flowing for people who are just coming from one end of the country to the other. I'm sure people will just pass straight through. So yeah, I'm going to see a nice look of my big central main street here in a second. Okay, now I'm going to be immediately ripping up that nice new road that I just put down and figuring out if I want to put an interchange down, which I do. Originally I was thinking I probably wouldn't do an interchange, but I thought I want to keep traffic flowing pretty well, so maybe I will just put in a hopefully fairly small interchange. Because if people are going just through the country from one side to the other, which the game itself may not do that, but in my head, if the city was real, then I imagine they would get a fair bit of through traffic, and I didn't want too much of it getting caught up in the regular people who live here. So I'm going to be doing this sort of roundabout interchange. Maybe there's one already on the workshop that does exactly what I am trying to do, and I didn't need to make it from scratch. And spoilers for the future, this isn't the only one I make, but I end up just making myself, so which is pretty cool. I don't normally do interchanges myself. I don't really normally do that many interchanges, actually. I normally try to reduce my highway use as much as I can, but here I am doing this. Obviously roundabouts are the best kind of interchange you can have in a city, so we're going to have some off-ramps onto these roundabouts and then just the pass-through traffic. And we'll, in the future, be putting in some bike paths that go around so people can just go straight through, or they can go around the whole thing if they need. A big emphasis for the city will be to be having as much bike traffic and public transport as possible. So having a good bike infrastructure here is very important. If everything that I do in the game, I'm going to be thinking, is this something that I would be comfortable with driving or riding through in the real world? We do work on this interchange a little bit in a future episode, so this is not the final form by any means that you will see this interchange. Moving on to the next bit, I wanted to have a Dubai style big giant Burj Khalifa size building that was going to be the center of this touristy area. Just so people, I don't know the exact scale because scale is all over the place and different workshop items will have different scales. But I've just picked up this, I put down a few buildings to see which ones I like, and I've gone with this big triangle building for now. And we'll be putting this as like a big center of this big entertainment area. I wasn't really sure if I was going to be putting any metro down. I was thinking I'd maybe just do the trams, but then I came across this metro station here and it looked just so cool. I just love the idea of having like a big central area built around this metro station where people could walk and access the entire city from this big central public transport hub, that I decided to put that down there. So we'll figure out where to put that in a little bit later. I haven't really figured out exactly what I want to do with that, but I just put it down just to keep in mind that I want it there. And I figured this will be the place to put a big sports arena. So I put down the sporting complex there. And of course that will need to be somewhere near the public transport as well, so people can just walk there from wherever they need. There won't be too much area dedicated to parking because I don't want people driving everywhere in the city. So a big theme that you'll come across in this series will be me giving reasonings for everything based on how much I think it is good for reducing traffic and encouraging people to take public transport and biking. So you'll hear me talk about that quite a bit. You can see I've been just putting down this quay across this part of the city and making like a really nice walking path alongside. I think it'd be lovely being down here and having this quay that goes right down to the water level and being able to walk along there with the city and the nice parks in the background. So things will look really nice once we got the city built out. And we will continue with building a bit more of this central touristy district in the next episode.